Alright, hey there. This is Mario Superstar Baseball tier list. That's pretty much it. Let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna waste your time. So this is what I got. You see a tier list over there on the left. So before you start making comments tell me how wrong I am, I need you to hear me out. So first of all, big thing is most people are gonna realize first, especially if you don't take this game as seriously as I do. You're gonna see that Peach and Waluigi are pretty low. Most people believe them to be top tier characters. They're just not, and obviously I'll talk about it more in those individual character discussions. But so I know that's the most glaring thing people are gonna disagree with, but just wait until that discussion before you disagree. Then you can disagree afterwards. The rule set. So a lot of people actually play on different rule sets in this game. So the one that this tier list is modeled off of is Superstars are off. A lot of people play with them on. I prefer to have them off. I know a lot of other people don't like them, don't have them on either. And the reason why, that's a whole separate topic. But in short, the game feels a lot more like, fielding's not as relevant, running bases isn't as relevant. It just feels like home runs for the win. So I don't really enjoy that. I prefer Superstars off because the game feels a lot more dynamic, a lot more skill-based. Excuse me. So, Mercy Rule is going to be on 9 innings. Mario Stadium is the only legal stadium, and everything else is default. So, Clamber is a pretty bad ability because you're not playing on Peach's Garden. Or Peach's Garden. That's pretty much it. So, I have those credentials there. I listed them because everyone always likes to cite their credentials when they talk about this game. Newsflash, this game's pretty old, so saying that you've been playing the game for 10 years is not very helpful because we kind of all have been playing the game for that long. So, I just kind of put this there just to put it there. But obviously I'm not going to talk about it too much. I do want to mention this though, data mine stats. So, I participate in modding this game. I'm on the modding team. Part of the modding is that we have data mined stats of the game. So we can actually see the true in-game stats. So the stat cards that you see on the character select screen where it's like, the 4 was it speed, power, fielding, and pitching. And it's, 1 to 9 usually. Those are lies. The only accurate one is speed. Everything else is kind of made up. And we kind of proved this. Well, I don't want to say proved, but we showed that through the data mine. But you'll hear me citing these stats a couple times. These data mine stats are ranging from 0 to 100. And you'll hear me cite them a couple times when I compare characters with each other. So I just wanted to point that out. So when I say something like, I don't know, what I say, I think Donkey Kong and Hammer Bro have the same charge swing stat, or I could be wrong on that. No, Bowser and Petey have the same charge swing stat. That's just true, right? They have the same exact stat. It's not really comparable. Noki and Paratrooper have the same throwing arm. Again, they have the same stat. That's pretty much all I want to say on this. So, important here, this tier list is based off of the current meta. I tried to stay away from theoretical placements. So what I mean by that is, I don't want to place a character really high because I think they're actually really good, even though it hasn't been shown yet. This tier list is more representative of what's going on right now. So I kind of designed it in a way that most people can generally agree with what I have down. But again, I didn't rank anyone really low. Even if I think someone's not a good character, I didn't want to rank them low because I think they're not actually that good, if I think they're overrated. I tried to model it off of what we actually see players using right now. Alright, so if a character's in the same tier, they're pretty much the same in my eyes, like same ranking. But I did order it. The tier list is technically ordered, but if you have a disagreement with me, like if you think, Toad's better than Dry Bones, sure. I don't care. They're pretty much the same in my eyes. And anything in the same letter or color, so you can see I color coded it. If they're in the same letter or color, there are very small gaps between the two. So there's not a big gap between, the gap between Wario and Daisy is pretty small, but the gap between Wario and Toadsworth is a lot larger. So that's that's how that works. Last thing I want to go over is this X factor and volatility. So you're going to see in all these videos, I'm going to mention a character's X factor and their volatility. What this means is X factor is the ability to shift in the meta right now. So, for example, Pianta and Wario are a good example. I see them as pretty much the same. So, Pianta's ranked, I think that was at 13th. Pianta's ranked 13th. However, I see Wario as kind of tied. So Pianta has an X factor of +1 because 13th best in the game, but he can also be 14th best of +1. In a similar way, Wario's 14th in the game, but he has an X factor of -1 because I can see him switching with Pianta and going from 14th to 13th. That's how X factor works. That means the meta right now. Volatility, on the other hand, is future meta. So if I think someone's going to has a lot of potential, I'll mention that in the volatility rather than just shooting them up a million tiers. So yeah, volatility will either be low, moderate, or high. Bowser's a good example of a low volatility character because I don't see him coming off the top anytime soon. But moderately or high volatility characters include Diddy Kong, Waluigi, who else? I think Goomba. A lot of the low tiers are pretty volatile. Birdo. So those are some. That's kind of how that works. I think they have a lot of potential to shift either up or down in the future. That's pretty much all I wanted to go over. One last note. I'm gonna release 5 parts of this video. Well, 6 if you include this one. Where it's just gonna be bottom tiers, low tiers, mid tier, high tier, and top tier. Bottom tiers. I'm gonna lump the D tiers in with the F, but really, F tier is the only low tier because D tier is when characters start to become viable. F tier is really the only tier in my eyes that's unviable, and by unviable I mean drafting them on your team gives you a disadvantage. So that's pretty much how I see it. But you gotta realize in this game, low tier is still not bad because there's 32 characters in the game, 18 are getting played every single game. You know, that is over half the cast. So low tier is not bad. I think D tier and below is really where characters in my eyes are not that good, and then F tier is just unviable. But if you pick it, if you just don't draft those bottom 3 characters, like, you're gonna have a fine team. So that's kind of how I see it. That's pretty much all I want to go over. I just wanted to show you the tier list in this video. Like I said, I'm gonna release 5 more parts where I go over each of the other tiers. That's it.